the jinn have devised a chair to go back into history 12,000 years and try to change it. And every time he goes back, he's lost 250,000 people already in these time vortexes, man. Now, you might not believe what I'm saying. I don't care if you don't believe what I'm saying. The point is, this cracker's out here doing it. And you're doing nothing more than resolving yourself to your prayer rug, and you ain't got no power. No power, because you don't even know how to make your prayer work for you. You know? So here it is, with the aid of these negative beings, they're using Earth as the last staging base, man. And there's going to be a fight. They're going to beam people out of here, man. They're leaving. Folks are going to be taken off this planet. They said there was a ship orbiting the sun. They estimated its dimensions was 20 miles by 15 miles. The color of it is gold. It's heading this way. And they only mentioned something like that once, like in October. They mentioned it. Once. And then they laughed. And then they went on to the next item of news. But how many of our people pay attention to that, man? We got so-called educated Negroes who've been educated under this system talking about, no, brother, that's not the history of the world. What you're saying is bogus. Okay. When it hits and it comes, we'll see, like Brother Dawood had mentioned, niggas laughed when Noah built that boat or that ark. But he got the last laugh when he got saved, and you niggas got drowned. And that's the same thing that's going to happen right now. You guys are so busy into religion that you can't even sit down and look at what the Quran is saying in plain language, man. Oh, no, brother, I need a mufti to break this down. If I was interested in religion, I'll search out a damn mufti. I'm not interested in religion. I'm interested in Allah's truth. And I'm going to go where Allah said go. He says, I must believe in all of the books and all the prophets and the angels, the seen, the unseen, and the day of resurrection. And I do. When I took my shahada, I remembered that when I raised that hand and I took that shahada, that's what I pledged to. I didn't pledge to profess with my lips that I believe in the revelation that went before and never read it and argue with somebody else that does. And I mean, Allah tells you in the Quran, it's a sin to speak on things that you have no knowledge of. See, but I guess we're dealing with an ignorant bunch of folks, man. No matter what Allah says to you, you're going to keep doing what you want to do. And you imams included. So, when these ships come through, I tell you something, you niggas going to be in trouble, man. Y'all going to be in some serious trouble. Especially y'all in the military machine. Y'all going to be in some trouble, man. Because these guys, when these beings come back with the spirits of the prophets, man, that's not a day to smile. Except for those who've been trying their best to do right. And y'all are going to participate. And look at how the white man used y'all. He's going to use y'all to try to whip people like me. It is guys like y'all who don't study, who call yourself imams in the whole bit, who would try to get people like me to lose my life. That's why I have to be a practitioner. I have to learn what it's like to be a magus now. So I have to learn how to do something. So you try something funny, I'll put some shit on you. And Allah says in Quran, there are those who are entitled to curse. And he's not talking profanity. He's talking about their power and their ability to do things. So now I have to learn how to be a practitioner. Just to save myself and protect myself with the authority of Allah from you guys, man. Because you guys are clowns. You're dangerous, man. You guys are worse than loose cannons and loose guns. You know? You ain't got your act together. The young brothers coming in taking shahada now. You get them just as stupid as you. And they're ready to go charging out the doors and find a guy like me hunt me down and kill me, man. Because you guys will say, he's not a Muslim. The brother's an apostate or something. An apostate means total abandonment of one's principles. You know, you guys, man, you guys are pitiful. You guys are pitiful. And I only see it, and you talk about make a prophecy? I'm going to make a prophecy. Only a tiny, tiny percent of you are going to wake up. And like I started to say earlier, it's no coincidence that Allah, out of the whole sea of Muslim, would only have a few of us that started coming to grips with truth about what's going on. How they jacked up the calendar, what true day we should worship the day of Jummah on. The whole bit, what his revelation was. Prophet Muhammad kept the Passover, not because of the Jews or Jewish people. It had nothing to do with it. Shem kept the Passover. What was the Passover a commemoration for? Why did Shem do it? Because Allah had delivered them in the ark from the flood. And when you do that, you give thanks to him. And the way that they did it, that Allah allowed them to set down for them, which also comes, believe it or not, the same time, which is that spring equinox. But y'all don't want to talk about that. Bilal ibn Rabah, he's an Israelite, Abyssinian. Look it up. Talk to an Ethiopian Hebrew. Ask him, what is an Abyssinian? He will tell you. Oh, racially speaking, that person is an Israelite. Bilal, tribe of Judah. He knew the Torah. King Negus of that Abyssinian empire. How long they been there? Since 722 BC, man. Why they went there? They refused to participate in that stupidity in 722 BC when in 936. I stand to be corrected. 936 BC, when all the northern tribes revolted against the three southern tribes, which then became a split. Now you had northern Israel and you had the kingdom of Judea in the ancient days. And that one tribe of Dan said, we're not going to participate in this, man. Allah says this ain't right, so we're not going to do it. So they put themselves into self-imposed exile. Went in, had a battle with the Ethiopians, took southern Sudan, northern Ethiopia, and had a defense set up 4 days around. The Ashantis that you niggas supposed to know so much about. Ashan is a place in Israel. Ash in Hebrew means fire. Ashan means a place burned. Ashanti means people descendant of the place burned. Mendingo. All these different names, man. These names are straight up and down Hebrew. All right? There's a lot of stuff that I would like to say, but the tape is running out. And I'll probably have to do part 2. But before I go, I just want to leave you with this thing here. The Boutros Ghali, yesterday, and the day before yesterday, UN Secretary General, basically has given the blessings to the United States to go in and start bombing field artillery gun positions in Bosnia, which is controlled by the Serbs, and gun positions in Serbia. Now, don't you Muslims start getting all happy, because this is white people slaughtering white people. They killed off the black folks that was there, and like thieves, they must pay the piper. It's time to pay up. And I'm for them paying up. Now, you might not understand what I'm saying. That's your ass. But I know this much. These are white folks is getting paid back. And Allah made a prophecy in the books that went before that this was going to happen. Even the Hadith mentioned there should be much bloodshed amongst the Romans. Now, what are the Romans? Who are they? They're the red people. Who's that? So-called Caucasians. So, what we need to do to survive, I'm going to run this list down real quick. Get your ponchos, stock up on some canned goods, get you some dry goods, get you some antibacterial soap, get you some antifungal cream, get you some plastic bags. If you can't get protective face mask, get you some of them rubber gloves, okay? Get you some plastic, and get some grease pencils so that you can write on it, because that's going to become your notebooks wherever you go. Because what's going to hit the street, power, electricity is going to be cut off. Get you some sterno if you can get it. Charcoal, all right? Get stuff that's small. Pack you a little bag, like an overnight bag that you could go. Underwear, extra socks, t-shirts. Put all that stuff, wrap that stuff now in plastic bags. Start putting that stuff together in plastic bags right now. And this is where anybody can use this information, all right? Don't worry too much about maps right now, because when it hits the fan and the smoke clears and all the dummies are dead, then those of us that's left, obviously the Most High sees it fit that he should leave enough of us with enough knowledge so that we might go forth. All right? So don't worry too much about that. Don't worry about if you're going to have a tank. All right? If you have babies, I recommend that you start boiling your water now. All right? But boil your water in such a way that you make your own distilled water, which is get you like one of those kettles with the hole in it. Get you some of that tubing that they may use in the hospital, wherever you can buy it, like maybe a pharmaceutical store. And the steam from that, run that in a sink of water and start making your own distilled water, because they're starting to do stuff now to the spring water that we're drinking. Military operations have stepped up in terms of helicopter observations and what have you in our areas. Just yesterday, I watched a whole formation of these things fly over Harlem. They went straight from the west right over to the East River. All right? And every Saturday, that's a common theme with them now. The police on the West Side Highway, the East Side, okay, at about 1 a.m. in the morning at times, if I'm outside going for a so-called intelligence walk, All right? I'll notice them carrying a trailer around with a device that I haven't as of yet been able to determine. I've heard rumors about it, that it might be a neutron bomb type of device, which means it detonates, the property's intact, but you're dead. All right? And they have heavily guard of that thing as it goes from the west side to the east side. Not only that, they have mounted on the back of police pickup trucks, floodlights. Okay? So whatever they're getting ready to do, they may either attack at night, and that's the only reason you need a floodlight. You don't need floodlights for the daytime because you got the sun that's out. All right? So what I'm trying to put forth for you to take a precaution with however little time I've got left is for you to start gathering a few things. Don't, if you can gather, maybe if you've already gathered 30 days worth of food supply, hopefully you will not have to move from the area where you're at. But things might happen where you might have to, okay? And not only that, expect Negroes call themselves Muslims, Christians, black Jews, those without a religion, expect these folks to want to give you up first, all right? And these are the folks who profess to know so much. Watch them. Watch them, man. They're going to be the folks who's going to turn